All right, today we're going to talk about something kind of cool. It's like this invisible architecture behind, well, all of our greatest ideas. It's the secret weapon we use to understand everything. I mean, everything, from the entire universe down to how the economy works. We are talking about conceptual models. I mean, really, think about it for a second. How do we build anything complex, or communicate it, or even just understand it? Our world is just packed with these incredibly complex systems, right? From designing a skyscraper to trying to explain the global economy. So how do you even begin to get a handle on all that information without your brain just completely short-circuiting? Well, we do what humans have always done best. We simplify. We take that tangled, chaotic mess of reality and we draw up a blueprint. It's an abstraction, a way of boiling everything down to just the most essential parts. And that blueprint, that's our starting point. So let's dive into our first big idea here, making sense of complexity. Because really, that's the core challenge, isn't it? It's the whole reason we even need these kinds of mental tools in the first place. You know, the world, both the physical one and our social one, is just full of these complex systems. I mean, think about the flow of data in a software system, or even just the social dynamics inside a company. We're constantly trying to navigate these intricate webs of information and relationships, and to make any sense of it all, we use a really powerful tool. Okay, so what is this tool? What exactly is a conceptual model? Let's break it down. So here's the formal definition. A conceptual model is basically the direct result of, well, thinking about something and generalizing it. It's an abstraction of things in the real world, whether they're physical or social. Think of it like this. It's our simplified map of something that's actually out there. It's what you get when you look at a really complicated system and you just ask, okay, what are the most critical parts here and how do they all connect? It's a very deliberate, focused, simplified view. And here's the absolute key. A model's value is directly tied to how well it actually corresponds to reality, whether that's the past, present, or future. These aren't just random doodles on a napkin. A model's whole worth, its entire point, comes from how accurately it reflects a real state of affairs. The blueprint for a bridge is, totally useless if it doesn't match the bridge you're actually trying to build. It has to be grounded in reality. Okay, so this brings us to a really, really important distinction you need to know about. There's a conceptual model, and then there's a concept model. A conceptual model, the one we're talking about, has to map to reality. Think of a model of a business process. But a concept model, nope, it doesn't have to. It can represent purely imaginary things, like, say, the family tree of the Greek gods. So one is a map of reality, the other can be a map of pure imagination. Big difference. All right, so now we know what they are, but what are they actually for? I mean, what's the point? Well, a good conceptual model isn't just some abstract academic exercise. It has 4 fundamental objectives, 4 jobs it needs to do. First up, number 1, they enhance understanding. Pretty simple, right? It just helps people get the system. Number 2, they're amazing for communication. It becomes this shared language so that, say, an engineer and a marketing person can actually talk about the same thing without getting confused. Third, it's a reference point. Super crucial for the designers and builders who need to extract the actual system specifications. And finally, number 4, it's documentation. It's a record of the system for future reference, so all that knowledge doesn't just walk out the door when a project ends. And you really, really have to get this right. I mean, listen to this. If the conceptual model is not fully developed, the execution of fundamental system properties may not be implemented properly, giving way to future problems or system shortfalls. Wow. That's pretty serious. It's just like we said with the blueprint, right? If the blueprint is flawed, the building is going to be flawed. This early stage, it can literally make or break the entire project. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little academic, right? Maybe something just for engineers or scientists. But here's the thing. These models are in our world. They're everywhere, and they operate at totally different scales. For example, they can represent just a single thing. I'm talking about one object, like the Statue of Liberty. An architect's plan for it, or even just the mental picture you have of it in your head, that's a conceptual model. But they can also represent whole classes of things. Take the electron, for instance. I mean, has anyone ever actually seen an electron? Nope. But we have an incredibly powerful conceptual model of the electron that describes how all of them behave. And then you can scale them up to cover these vast, mind-blowing domains. Think about it. Our entire model of the physical universe,
From the Big Bang to general relativity, that entire understanding is built on conceptual models. It's literally how we make sense of, well, everything. That just shows you how flexible and powerful this tool really is.
Seriously? Once you start looking, you see them everywhere. We're talking scientific models, economic models, business process models, statistical models. They're in data models for databases and systems architecture, and of course, they are all over software engineering. It's like the common language that all these different fields use to tackle complexity. Okay, so let's bring this all together. What's the big takeaway here? What are these blueprints of thought really all about? At their core, they are the simplified, abstract views we create to understand a complex reality. They're the tools we invent to fight back against that feeling of being completely overwhelmed. They are our focused, simplified blueprints for navigating a very messy, very intricate world. And they're so much more than just diagrams on a whiteboard. They're the invisible architecture behind our ideas, our businesses, and our discoveries. They're the unseen foundation for how we innovate, how we create, and how we push forward. So, the next time you're staring down a really complex problem, just remember the power of the blueprint. Ask yourself, okay, what are the essential parts here, and how do they all connect? Because the moment you start building that model, you've already started to understand. So the only question left for you is, what complex idea are you going to map out first?